if the Yankees lose tonight, Boone is going to get destroyed. I mean, there's no way around it. He's going to get absolutely crushed. And if Aaron Judge doesn't put one in the seats, despite hitting 440, Judge is going to get crushed, and rightfully so. And I won't absolve Boone, and I won't absolve Judge, but you got a $200 million pitcher who got absolutely rocked the other day. You've got a bullpen that's been awful. You've got basically nobody hitting 50 strikeouts, Sal. 50. And as we've seen all of these strikeouts, that's the end result. But think about the meek approach, flailing at splitters, non-competitive at bats, jumpy. Like, Boone will get hit. Judge will get hit. This is a team thing. This really is a team thing. So to me, if the Yankees lose tonight, which I don't think they will, by the way, I think the Yankees come out and hit the ball tonight, and I think Rodon's good enough for the Yankees to win and get to Game 4, and then we'll evaluate that if we get there. But if the Yankees lose, it's embarrassing for sure, and something's going to have to happen. But I don't think it's all Boone's fault. I don't think it's all Judge's fault.
I don't think it's the manager's fault. However, if they are saying, and the manager himself said, we have the best team since I've been here, and the Yankees are favored going into the series, what's the argument that everybody always makes in the case of Aaron Boone? Well, he hasn't lost a series that he's supposed to win.
Yeah, I've said that. I've said that a lot. I said that to Alex yesterday.
So this was a series that they were supposed to win. Whether they lost the division or not, whether they have home field or not, it doesn't matter. They were supposed to win this. Higher payroll than the Blue Jays. Blue Jays talked a lot of smack. Yankees got better as the season went on. Changed some things here. Now, some people could say Toronto was better. I did not think the Blue Jays were better. I never bought into the Blue Jays. I thought the Yankees would beat them in 3 or 4 games. Clearly, I was wrong about that. I still have belief the Yankees are at the very least getting this back to a Game 5. However, in the hypothetical or the realistic situation that the Yankees lose tonight, I don't think it's Boone's fault, but I think all bets are off. This would be a series that was tremendously disappointing. And if Boone, the manager himself, says that this is the best team he has to work with, they can't get swept in the DS. It just can't happen.
Well, yeah, I mean, it shouldn't happen. It could happen. It shouldn't happen. Now, here's the thing. So there's 2 ways to evaluate this. As we are right now, I'm almost like, what would we do if we owned the team? How would we react? And, the patience that Hal Steinbrenner has shown that has frustrated a lot of Yankee fans. Now, the other thing that could add some salt in the wounds if the Yankees were to get swept, and by the way, even if they win tonight, losing 4, it's still not acceptable.
I think a sweep is a little bit.
I hear, like, aesthetically, it's like, what? You lost 3 times to this team that's been verbally punking you all year? It would carry a different weight. I know what you mean there. But if you lose, right? So to me, the way the World Series ended last year, the Dodgers were mocking you. They were mocking your defense. They were mocking your base running. They told the entire world what the scouting report was, and you lost, and you basically proved them right. If they lose to Toronto, whether it's broadcasters or certain players or everybody jumping in, piling on the Yankees, they're not that good, they don't do this well, they can't do that, that would now be 2 years in a row where not only do you lose, but now you're getting again, they're just punking you publicly, and Hal is proven to be incredibly patient. You would have to think even Hal would have a threshold for patience there.
Yeah, I mean, that's another part of the conversation. Like, what would they actually do? We know what the fans are going to say. If the Yankees get swept tonight, fans are calling tomorrow saying Boone's got to get fired.
Yes,
now,
that would be the tone.
And I think that is the wrong thing. Like, it's not on the manager. We've talked about that. But at this point, if they did get swept, I couldn't really fight it off that much because I would be of the belief, well, something's got to change because the manager himself said the team was better than they were a year ago, and yet they played with fire with Boston. They didn't win the division, so that's a black mark against them. They played with fire against Boston and beat them in the 3 games, and then in this hypothetical would have gotten swept by Toronto. I could understand why somebody would say, well, something needs to change and call for the manager. I don't believe that it should be the manager, but if you're do I really trust that the Yankees themselves, the hierarchy? I know Cashman wouldn't want to fire Aaron Boone, but would the hierarchy not say, hey, something's got to change here? This can't happen. We're the Yankees. We can't be getting punked by the Blue Jays, not to mention the lopsided scores, the lopsided games in the first couple of games here. I think there's a lot more on the line than just the series in tonight's game for the Yankees.
Well, listen, again, I don't deny it. Whether or not something's going to happen, that's a different aspect of the conversation, and Boone's a part of it, and so is Aaron Judge. I mean, next opening day, Aaron Judge is going to be 34, and there's not a lot. There's really no evidence out for a superstar of that size and those dimensions, that proportion physically, to have an incredibly long career. Not that he can't. Richie Sexton was tall, and Winfield was 6'6", but and Sexton wasn't on Winfield's page, obviously, but there's very few big players that play into their late 30s, early 40s, unless you're juiced up. You know what I mean? And you're artificially enhanced here. So we're looking at Aaron Judge. I don't know what remains of his prime. I don't know. I mean, listen, he could come back, God forbid, and unleash a throw in spring training, and he could be on the operating table because that UCL, even though his velocity was up from right field the other day, he cranked one up to 90, which he has not been there in a while. You don't know what's going to happen with the elbow. You don't know. There's a million unknowns here. And even if the Yankees win tonight, right, think about where they are tomorrow. They're putting their season, they're putting legacies, they're putting reputations. They are putting so much on the line in the hands of a kid who wasn't even on the opening day roster. So you can make the case right there, say, even that doesn't feel right. Why are the Yankees at that point when you got a payroll that's the top 3 in baseball? I don't know. I just think that there's most Yankee teams I look at, I say, not it. Doesn't mean I'm not frustrated when they don't win. This team is different. I think or they should be different. And I think thus far they've proven to be resilient. I think we get more of that tonight. But if they lose, and particularly if they lose tonight, and it is ugly and they get knocked around, it could be very bloody around the Yankees.
To me, Boone's job, I was going to say legacy, but obviously it's not about his legacy. I think Boone's job could be on the line tonight. That, to me, is what's more on the line than the actual series itself. Obviously, if the Yanks lose, they go home, that's it. I do think Boone's job could be on the line tonight. As for Judge, to me, that's about the series. If they lose this series, the Yankees, no matter how, 5 games, I don't care, 3, 4, 5, if they lose this series, it's going to be another year with what everybody thought was a better team, and Plan B and this and that was the best team that at least Boone's had since 2018. The only other year with Judge was 2017, where they went to Game 7 of the ALCS against the cheating Astros. And Judge will be, to your point, 34 next year. He was having a monster year. There was reason to believe that he would get the job done. Like, they haven't even really faced... it's not like they're facing Schoolboy yet in 2 or 3 times. They faced Crochet one day, and that's it. I mean, the other guys are, a
couple kids, really.
Savage was great, but come on now, Gossman, like these, and they're getting Judge out in ways where, Judge is hitting base hits and singles. All of a sudden, Aaron Judge has turned into Wee Willie Keeler. I mean, that's not what the Yankees want. This guy's supposed to hit some home runs here.
How about that name?
So he's a singles hitter. That's what Judge has done. And then in the big spot, Judge is doing something that he doesn't do normally, expand his zone and chase. So to me, his legacy is on the line in this series. So that factors in tonight if they lose as well. But tonight specifically about Boone, I think if they win tonight and don't have the optics of a sweep, then maybe Boone a little bit safer than if they get swept. No matter what, if they don't beat the Blue Jays, I do think it's going to be a bullseye on Judge again, who will have failed in the postseason, going to be a year older, like at some point, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 30. How many years we got to see this?
Well, listen, Sal, this is the reality of coaching here. This is the reality of being a star player in New York. It's not always fair, but this is it. I mean, you think life's been fair to Patrick Ewing? Not necessarily. Think about the contrast. Mark Messier was here half the time of Patrick Ewing. Think about the sweat equity and what Ewing did for the Knicks on a year-to-year basis versus Messier, who ultimately won with the guarantee the hat trick against the Devils. One is revered. One is obviously loved in Patrick, but there's always the but. There's always the asterisk. There's always the, he didn't quite come through. He missed the finger roll. Hakeem outplayed him, which he did. It's not always fair. But I would then ask you, but I also understand the rules because I'm from here, and this is what happens with every star and every coach and every manager. But outside of put Boone aside and put Judge aside for one moment, who on the Yankees besides Schlittler and Bednar has truly done their job this postseason? Who? I mean, it's not Fried.
Volpe hasn't been, Volpe's been better than he was in the regular season.
No question. He's been one of their better players. Struck out, 4 times the other day? But he's been pretty good.
I'm just trying to think of guys who at least have been.
Jazz is hitting $180. Grisham's hitting $150. Yeah. I mean, Goldschmidt never plays what he does. By the way, I'd play Goldschmidt tonight. McMahon's not hitting. Rice is not hitting. Wells is not hitting. Grisham's not hitting. Stanton looks atrocious. The middle relief's been a circus mess. So, again, I'm not saying that the pressure on Boone shouldn't be there and that it shouldn't be real. It should be. You don't get lifetime contracts. I'm not saying that it should be Teflon Judge. If you don't produce, even though he is hitting 440 with a big bomb like Vlad, you're going to get knocked. Well, I guess what I'm really saying is, though, kind of what Alex said. It's a team sport. Nobody wants to hear it, but really, Sal, as a team, the Yankees are not playing well enough.
And even with all that being said and what's on the line tonight, more than just the series, the legacies, whether it's Boone's job, whether it's Judge's legacy, I still, at my core, feel confident in the Yankees, where a lot of people are writing the obituary already for the Yanks. I'm not there yet. I don't buy it. The Blue Jays will really show me something if they do what they did at Yankee Stadium. Doing it in Toronto in that environment, the scores got out of hand because of the way the pitching went, so I'm not even worried about the scores necessarily, but that power display, the contact, they played downhill against the Yankees. If they could do that tonight, that would show me something, and maybe that's going to win them the series, but I would be surprised if that's the case. And on the flip side of that, if the Yankees offense does not get going tonight, that, to me, is a tremendously disappointing showing in the postseason, not just this series. The 3 games against the Red Sox, they didn't hit. Nope. They won a series without having a hit with power. They didn't hit. And the first 2 games, they have not hit. So the Yankees' offense, I would expect to wake up, and I don't think the Blue Jays are going to be playing at the same level that they did in the first 2 games.
What the hell are we waiting for? I mean, it's the second series. The offense has done nothing. Like, even if the Yankees win tonight 3-1, and I don't think, listen, I do trust Rodón tonight to give the Yankees a chance to win. He's not going to be Schlittler. I'm not even sure that he's going to be freed from game 1 against Crochet. I believe you get 5 1/3, sprinkle a couple of runs, couple of walks. He's good, not great.
They're going to have to hit, though, right?
Exactly. I mean, they struck out 50 freaking times in 5 games with 10 walks. So people got to start waking up, start doing their job. And even if they win 3-1, like I was starting to say, I'll feel good about Schlittler tomorrow night. But that would then be 6 games without the offense. The offense needs to wake up and start earning their money.
BT and Sal on the Fan. Our friends at Town Fair Tire remind you that at Town Fair Tire, you always get the guaranteed lowest price on name brand tires from Connecticut to Maine. Nobody beats Town Fair Tire. Nobody. Larry is calling from Hillsborough, New Jersey, starting us off. What's up, Larry?
What's up, Sal? How you been, dude?
Good. How are you?
Good. BT, what's up, man?
Larry, what's going on, dude?
Not much. Listen, absolutely, in your 100%, would you say, I mean, I know it's probably a stupid question, but do you think Boone gets the axe if they lose 12-4 tonight?
I think most franchises, they probably would. I don't think that the Yankees do.
Yeah, it's not a stupid question, Larry. Obviously, we've been talking about
question, really.
Yeah, we've been talking about this to start. I don't know if the score itself matters, and thank you for the call. I mean, 12-4 would be a lot worse than losing, I guess, 2-1. But either way, a loss is a loss, and a sweep is a sweep. So I think it would be a legitimate conversation. Now, again, I don't know. I'm saying I think because I don't know from actual reporting or anything like that.
Yep.
But I would believe that going into this postseason, nobody had any thought about Aaron Boone being on any kind of hot seat whatsoever. The fact that they were down 1-0 to the Red Sox maybe brought a little alert like, hey, if we lost to the Red Sox here, that's a problem. Then they beat the Red Sox. Okay, no problem with Boone anymore. Then they get plastered in the 2 games in Toronto and on the verge of getting swept. If they were to get swept, I do think it's at the very least a conversation that Hal and some of the Yankee hierarchy, not named Brian Cashman, would at least throw out there and discuss.
I think that that's fair. Do you think that they've ever had that discussion before, like on a real serious level?
I bet that it has come up, but I don't think it ever really got serious. I'm sure it's come up and like, hey, can we maybe change this and be better off for it? But if the manager himself says, like, this is different than Carlos Mendoza and the Mets, if the manager himself tells you, which he has, this is the best team I've had to work with, and they get bounced in the second round,
yeah,
and
it's an underachievement.
A sweep, no,
it's a big underachievement.
Correct.
Yeah.
It would be the first, by his own admission, it would be the first time that an Aaron Boone team has really underachieved. In reality, right? Like you can say, well, they got beat badly in 18, whatever you want to say.
The wild card against the Red Sox, Cole got rocked, whatever.
Yeah, missed the postseason like it happens. This would be the first time where he believed that they had the best team since he's been here. 2018, that's a long time.
I know.
And they get bounced in this hypothetical, and if they lose tonight, it's not hypothetical, it's reality, getting swept, then yeah, I think it has to come into question.
It would really, I got to be totally honest with you here, it would really take away my greatest weapon of defense for Aaron Boone. Because when we and I said this to Alex Rodriguez yesterday, by the way, if you guys missed the chat with A-Rod, obviously free Odyssey app, go check it out if you want to see the other component, WFAN YouTube. To me, I've looked at his tenure here, and, I've gone on some rants where I'm not going to just recreate a rant for the sake of doing it, but think about the left fielders he's had. Think about the first basemen. Think about the 3, 4, 5 third basemen. Think about the 5 center fielders. Think about the multiple closers. Think about everything that he's had. And ask yourself, did he have more than Joe Torre? Did he have more than Joe? The answer is no. Did he have more than Girardi? Did he have an A-Rod? Well, Judge is the A-Rod, but then did he have a Jeter? Did he have a Posada? Did he have a Teixeira, switch hitting, fielding first base? But did he have Mo? The answer is no. So when you're fair to Aaron Boone and you put bias or anger aside, I think the clarity that the conclusion that I come to is he's never lost a series he was supposed to win. This would change that.
Bob is calling from Bayside. What's up, Bob?
Bobby.
Sal, you're insane to say that Boone's job is on the line. Last year, only 2 teams went to the World Series. 28 teams went home. He got them to the World Series. This year, he's in the second round, and he's not up there swinging the bat at home plate. How could you say his job is on the line?
Well, no, I said it would come into question. I think that fans would be calling for it. I'm saying I wouldn't blame the manager, but I do think if they get swept in a series where the manager himself said that they have the best team since he's been here, I think it's a fair question for people to bring up.
As Mike Francesa used to say, until you lose at home, and if you hold serve, you're still in the series. So that's all. That's all Yankee fans.
Yeah, we said the same thing yesterday, Bob. It's not over. It's not over yet. And where you been, by the way?
I never heard Mike say that.
He's famous for saying that. You got to hold serve at home.
The series doesn't start until a road team wins a game. The problem is if a road team wins the game, the series is over.
Yeah, I prefer 7-game series to kind of test that theory a little bit, not 5.
Bob used to be a regular on the overnights, I'm pretty sure, because I remember that voice. And
Bobby.
He's a big Yankee fan. Yeah, he would.
Well, I mean, listen, Bob, okay, I get it. So what Bob says there is, and this is the one thing I would push back to Bob. He said, Boone's not swinging the bat. I agree. That's why I pointed out who's playing well. It's funny, Judge is getting all the heat. He's hitting 440. Everybody else is hitting $170 with a bunch of whiffs. So, again, he needs to put on the power display.
Only really
no doubt.
That one big spot where he came up with a chance to change everything.
Yeah, with
the
striking out. And it was such a feeble swing.
Yeah.
It was a ball by him. But then Vlad hits one top 10.
Yeah, exactly.
So it made it look worse. But if that's the case, then no manager or coach should get fired. I mean, Aaron Glenn's not missing tackles, but Aaron Glenn's 0-5. No, I'm not saying he's going to get fired, but you know what I mean. Dable is not jumping off sides or committing holding penalties, but his team's not good.
Look,
so you look at Dable.
Bottom line, we don't believe that this is Aaron Boone's fault if they were to lose. However, you're exactly right. Managers and coaches get fired when their team underperforms or underachieves. This getting swept by the Blue Jays would be a significant underachievement. By Aaron Boone would come on with us and tell us that himself.
Yep.
He said it. This is the best team he's had to work with. Can't get punked by the Blue Jays like that. Win a game. Like I wouldn't be saying that after 4 games, depending on how it looks, what the score would be. But if they get swept, I think everything should be open for discussion.